Oh, hey there. Good morning, Monica. Are you going to work in those worn-out old rags that look like a 20-year-old present from your grandma again today, you broke loser? Hey, Roxanne. I'm pretty sure my clothes fall under office casual, and they're definitely not worn out. Anyway, what do the clothes I choose to wear to work have to do with you? It's not like I'm causing you any problems. Oh dear, what a shame. I see you still have precisely zero self-awareness. Your very existence is a problem when you go to work looking homeless every day, dear. How am I a problem? You walk around the neighborhood dressed like a broke loser, radiating the intolerable stench of poverty. Every time I walk past you, I have to pinch my nose. If I'm not careful, I could become poor like you just by being in your vicinity. It really is time you learn to have a little self-awareness, dear. If you don't get on top of your stench soon, the entire neighborhood will be wearing nose plugs. I have no idea what makes you think I'm a broke loser who radiates the smell of poverty, but me and my family really don't struggle with money as much as you seem to think we do. Are you joking? I've seen your house, dear. You're nothing but a broke part-time housewife who lives in a shabby, run-down ground floor apartment in the rough part of town. Excuse me? You obviously had no choice but to live there because the rent is dirt cheap and you couldn't afford anywhere more respectable. The place is so beat up, I wouldn't be surprised if the roof leaked every time it rained. You must have to walk around on your tiptoes to avoid the 200-year-old floor creaking. You seem to be making a bunch of huge misunderstandings here, Roxanne. I don't know why you think I work part-time, but I don't. As for the apartment, it was fully renovated 5 years ago. Nothing in there is 200 years old. Huh? It originally belonged to my husband's parents. He inherited it when his dad passed away 5 years back. His mom, who still lives with us now, suffered a fall and hurt her leg not too long afterwards, which ended up with her having to live in a wheelchair. So we had it reformed into a barrier-free, one-story bungalow to make her life there as easy and stress-free as possible. Around the same time, my husband also bought the house next door, which had been vacant for years, then had the connecting wall demolished to almost double the floor space. Even despite all that, buying the house, hiring the builders, paying for the materials, insuring the place, having wheelchair access facilities fitted, we still never struggled for cash. Wow. Basically, because you went on a foolishly irresponsible spending spree that was well beyond what you could afford, you're now a broke loser groveling around in the depths of soul-crushing poverty and despair. I guess everyone's definitions for poverty are probably different, but at least from where I'm standing, I don't feel like we're poor. That's only because you're too poor to have ever known what it's like to possess large amounts of money, my dear. I knew it. Without the sagely advice of someone highly respected, loved, and accomplished like myself, the wife of a CEO, you're not even capable of making even the bare minimum of decisions required to get by in life. You really are the most tragic human being I've ever met. You'll have to excuse me, but I have work soon, so I'm gonna have to head off. It's okay, dear, I understand. You'll get fired if you don't do as your boss tells you. I get it. It must really suck to be poor. But, Monica, really, I do at least think you should make the effort not to let your poor coworkers catch wind of the foul stench of your poverty. Everyone will be too grossed out to work and productivity will be down across the board. Oh, that reminds me. Me and the other moms from kindergarten are throwing a New Year's party this Saturday. It'll be held at my apartment. You know, the top floor apartment of the luxury apartment building overlooking the river on 5th Street. But of course, no broke losers will be invited. I can't wait to look down on your pathetic papier-mâché cockroach den from the balcony of my luxury apartment while we sip our $10,000 champagne. We'll be so high up above you, your pitiful excuse of an apartment will look like nothing more than a piece of garbage. Oh, did I tell you our $10,000 champagne will contain specks of gold dust? I know you couldn't possibly imagine what it's like to indulge in such sophisticated extravagance. But hopefully these messages aren't making you too jealous. Oh, of course, if you're absolutely desperate to come to my New Year's party and find out how the chosen few live, you need to get rid of that stench of poverty you radiate by moving up in the world until you make at least $100K a year. Only then will I consider sending you an invite. What on earth do you think you're playing at, Monica? Why would you come to my New Year's party? I made it very clear you weren't welcome. Why would you go out of the way to bug me over messages when we're at the same party? If you have a problem with me, come and say it to my face, Roxanne. That doesn't answer my question. What does a poverty-stricken loser like you think she's doing at a party of a CEO's wife? Anyway, what gives you the right to let yourself into my apartment like this? The roof of this building is a sacred place for the upper crust of society, life's winners like me. Poor people don't belong here, and you're not welcome. Think you had the nerve to bring your husband with you, too. I have no idea how you managed to get past security. But I'd rather you didn't stink out my luxury apartment with the rotten stench of your poverty. I'm going to have to spray some air freshener because of you. What a surprise that was! I genuinely have no idea how a broke loser like you ended up getting into my invite-only party, or what made you think you had the right to come in the first place for that matter. I made it very clear you were only to come if you made more than $100K a year. That didn't give you any right to pour a bottle of champagne over my head. You unlawfully entered my apartment and you paid the price. I didn't do anything wrong. I was merely defending my property. Besides, I poured that bottle of champagne over your head out of kindness. Kindness? I figured if I could drench you in champagne, it might help get rid of the stench of poverty that follows you around wherever you go. But thanks to your illegal entry into my apartment, my luxury top-of-the-range Persian rug is covered in champagne now. I'll have you know that rug cost $7,000. If you don't compensate me for the damage you've done, I'll be forced to take extreme measures. Obviously, this should go without saying, but a cleaning won't do it. You've ruined the fabric forever, so you need to buy me a brand new rug. I know $7,000 probably amounts to a year's wages for the likes of a broke depth groveler like yourself. And I wouldn't be surprised if you even had to move out of your cockroach-infested apartment and live on the streets to come up with the money, but you should have thought about that before you spoiled my rug. Listen to me, Roxanne. You don't seem to be aware of this, but it was your husband who invited me and my husband. Huh? Initially, we were only supposed to be paying him a visit in his office on the second floor to make a few inquiries. But when we arrived, he told us he had some urgent business to attend to and apologetically invited us to wait for an hour upstairs in your apartment. He appeared to know that me and you are kindergarten acquaintances, so I guess he figured it'd make sense to invite me to your New Year's party to kill some time while he dealt with whatever stuff he had going on. He came up with us in the elevator, let us in, and showed us to the living room before disappearing off somewhere in a hurry. Huh? But what reason could you and your husband possibly have for visiting my husband's company? Your husband said he'd be messaging you about that. Huh? Haven't you heard anything from him? I don't know, maybe in a message or an email? Well, hold on, let me check. Oh my God, what in the Lord's name is happening? Monica, you're the president of my husband's company's biggest client company? What in the hell? How haven't I heard about this before? That's not all. What the hell are you doing living in a tiny ground floor apartment with a job like that? I thought you were broke. Excuse me? Let me get this straight. You thought I was poor because I live in a ground floor apartment? Who lives in ground floor apartments apart from broke losers? Everyone knows celebrities and successful people live on the top floor so they can look down on the peasants. Ah, I see. So that's why you went out of your way to get an apartment on the top floor, huh? Because in your mind, being that high up is the ultimate form of status symbol? What, are you saying it's not a status symbol? Of course, everyone's free to have their own ideas about the world. But I personally don't see any link between the altitude of someone's house and their value as a human being. And if I'm honest, I think that's a very shallow and superficial way of looking at the world. What the heck are you talking about? I did tell you this before, but my mother-in-law lives with me and my husband. She lives in a wheelchair, so it was a must that our place not have any stairs. That's why we bought the vacant house next door, had the second floors of both houses demolished, and had it converted into a big, spacious, barrier-free bungalow. Anyway, haven't you heard? Bungalows are in fashion these days. All the celebs and successful people are buying them. Oh my God, are they really? Hey, what's this crap I'm hearing about you terminating your contract with my husband's company? I take it your husband explained the situation to you then? My contract with your husband's company is terminated with immediate effect. Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this just because I poured a bottle of champagne over your head as a joke. You have no right to drag my husband into this. This crosses the line. No way. Do you think that's the only reason I'm doing this? Huh? But my husband just called. He was furious. He said this was all happening because of my rude attitude at the New Year's party and that I had to apologize to you immediately. Listen, Roxanne, I'm not going to pretend you pouring a bottle of champagne over my head in front of everyone at your New Year's party has nothing to do with the contract termination. You mean there's another reason? I don't know how your husband explained it to you, but the reason me and my husband visited your husband's office on the second floor was to notify him we were terminating the contract. It was already decided at that point. What? I don't know how much of this I should tell you, since as far as I'm aware, you don't have anything to do with the management of your husband's company. But to summarize, I got sick of his failure to meet deadlines, the constant issues with quality when shipments did arrive, and not to mention the horrendous attitude his employees gave me when I tried raising the issues with them. He and his company have been impossible to work with these last 6 months, and it reached the point where I simply couldn't overlook it anymore because it was interfering with our ability to provide quality to our customers. If I'd let it continue, I am almost certain it would have had knock-on effects for our reputation and revenues. After lengthy discussions with my husband, who's responsible for client meetings, and other executives within our company, I decided we had no choice but to terminate the contract. To be honest, I had already made up my mind, but there was a small chance I'd have been willing to negotiate with your husband if he showed sincerity in wanting to improve. Until you poured champagne over my head, that is. With that, I resolved to wash my hands of the both of you for good. Oh my God. Wait, hang on a second. No way. Oh, surely all this stuff with my husband is just business. Why throw away our friendship too? Now I know you're rich and successful and that me and you are on the same level, we can grow closer than ever before. The same level as you? I get that you might be upset with my husband's company, but why throw away a friendship in the process? It seems like such a waste. Won't you rethink this, please, Monica? I can't say I was ever the type to link people's value as human beings to how much money they have, but I know that you take great pleasure in it. Which is why you should know that once your husband loses this contract, which accounts for over 80% of his sales, the future of his company probably isn't gonna look so bright. What? I advise you to consider the implications of that before talking to him. Monica, could you please lend me some money? Say what now? I'm sure you've already heard, but my husband's company went bankrupt. Yeah, I may have heard a thing or two about that. Well, this means we're not going to be able to carry on living in this luxury high-rise apartment. You mean you're not going to be able to keep up with the rent? Yes. My husband's unemployed after his company went bankrupt, so he has to start from scratch and find a new job. Which is why I'd really appreciate if you could lend me just enough to cover the rent on this apartment. How about you just move somewhere more appropriate for your level of income instead of begging for money? Your husband's parents are looking after your son right now, right? So you either need to ask really nicely and hope one of your parents will let you move in with them until you get back on your feet, or if that doesn't work out, find a new job with a company that provides employee accommodation. No, I can't do that. Me? Work a job? Oh my God. It's not right that a woman of my status should have to associate with the peasants and work a normal person job. My status demands that I live on the top floor. Sure, I might have lost my title as CEO's wife, but that's just all the more reason I can't afford to lose this high-rise apartment. Listen, Roxanne, the thing is... You're going to lend me some money? Have you taken a shower lately? Huh? Do you wash your clothes? What the hell kind of questions are these? A close friend of mine lives in the same apartment block as you, but she told me that every time she walks past the housewife from the top floor, she has to hold her nose because she smells so bad. She said she gets the impression you're trying to cover up the smell by drenching your entire body in perfume. She says the smell resembles something like a mixture of your natural body odor and something that can only be described as not belonging to this world. Oh my God, do I smell that bad? Yes, you really smell that bad. Apparently the smell is so awful that the company managing the apartments are currently in the process of writing up their claim against you because of the distress your stench is causing the rest of the residents. No, it's not me. They're mistaking me for someone else. That's funny because when I asked her for your room number, she gave me yours. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. I really think you should do something about this, Roxanne, and sooner rather than later. No, I do not smell! I did wonder for a second whether the culprit behind the rotten stench might be Roxanne's husband, but it turned out that by that point, he'd already moved back in with his parents who lived 10 minutes away, which meant that the only one left behind in that foul-smelling room was Roxanne, all alone and with nothing left but her wounded pride. As for why the place smelled so bad, I found out later that the utilities got cut as a result of their failure to pay the rent, which in the middle of the summer in a place this hot is never going to end well. Even in spite of that, Roxanne, whose sense of self-esteem seemed entirely dependent on her living on the top floor of a luxury apartment block, defiantly stayed behind for a short while despite receiving several eviction notices. Eventually, though, she lost her nerve and moved out. I don't know whether it was because of the constant complaints from the neighbors, but they must have been elated when they found out she was gone. With that, she moved in with her husband and his parents. In desperate need of cash, she was forced to get a part-time job at a nearby supermarket, which is where she now spends her days doing the bare minimum of work to get by while riddled with chronic self-esteem issues due to her intolerably putrescent body odor. Thanks for watching, folks. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to prove what a boss you are by liking and subscribing. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We can't wait to see you again next time.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, you're Lily, right? You can call me Judith, but I'm sure you already know about me, right? I happen to be your husband's previous wife. Are you surprised to be hearing from me of all people? I'm sure you are right now. Hello? Well, whatever. I'm sure that this is your number and that you are getting all these texts right now. Well, listen here. I happen to have a request for you now that you're married to my ex-husband. I just left my kid at the front door of the apartment you both are living in now. I'd like for you to look over them while I'm gone, all right? I'm going to be late for my plane. I need to get going to the airport right now. What? Who even are you? Oh my, so you're going to respond to me like that now? I told you just who I am a few minutes ago. I happen to be your husband's ex-wife. Huh? My husband's, and you're his ex-wife? What are you talking about right now? Ooh, perhaps he's really never even told you about me before? Well, that child I just dropped off by your front door, it's your husband's. That's the child that he and I had with one another. And when he and I got divorced, I took custody of the child and have been raising them all this time. However, I just happened to get myself a new boyfriend, and right now I'm on the way to Hawaii with that boyfriend of mine. So for the next month while I'm out of the state, I want you guys to take care of his kid. Hold on for just a moment. I don't even have a husband right now. What? And actually, what is this about you leaving a child at the front door of my apartment? I don't even have an apartment as I'm living with my parents, and this place is a house. It's not even a place that you could even mistake for an apartment or a rental house at that. I believe that you must have the wrong number or something because none of your story is matching up with my life. Can you check the number you're texting one more time for me? But you're Lily, right? So that means you're the same woman that my ex-husband is married to. And that child I've left with you is my ex-husband's child, your current husband's. So since you're his wife now, you get to watch over the kid for 1 month or so until I'm back home. Understand? But here's the thing, I don't have anyone I call my husband right now. Oh, is that right? From what I've heard, you're not even able to make a baby, right? Huh? I'm sure that you're super jealous of the fact that I've had a baby with your husband, but there's no helping that, now is there? Well, I'll let you have a month to experience just what it's like to have to care for and raise a kid of your own. Have fun now. Wait, I haven't even seen any child around this house whatsoever. Shut the hell up and just take care of my kid. You have 1 month to love that child for me until I'm back home. Now I'm going to be blocking you and your husband's phone numbers. Hold on for just 1 second, please. See you later. I literally have zero clue what you've been talking about this whole time. What the hell is going on here? Angela, I think that I've just been wrapped into something really strange and have no idea what to do about it. What's going on with you then? Well, I got this really odd text from someone I've never heard of before. And it has something to do with this person dropping off their kid at my parents' house? Well, actually, she said it was at my apartment door where she dropped her kid off, but I don't have an apartment right now, right? But she didn't believe me and said that I'm going to have to care for her kid now, but I don't even know where this kid is or what apartment they're at. Can you please give me some advice on what's going on here? Do you know who this strange woman might even be? Hold on a sec. My parents just called for me. Huh? All right then. Thank you for waiting, Lily. I'm sorry that I had to get up and leave right when we started to talk. Actually, something really crazy just happened here, and it's not good. What's happening with you all now? At the apartment that my older brother and his wife were living at, his ex-wife dropped off their 5-year-old daughter that he had with her and left. Huh? They just left that kid there? For the time being, he's going to bring his daughter back to his parents' house, and there they'll figure out what to do with her. But he's not even able to get a hold of his ex at all, and having to take on a kid who he was never given custody of is a real problem for him and his wife. So this is about Brennan's kid then, right? I never knew that he got remarried. Ah, that's right. He did a little while back, I think. And in your case, you used to be his girlfriend, so I wasn't really sure when the best timing was to tell you about him and his new wife. I'm sorry that I'm only getting around to telling you now after the fact that I told you about his problem. You don't have to be sorry about it. I've always known that Brennan has a lot of women in his life, and that he wanted to see other people. So we both broke up, agreeing it would be for the best for both of us in the long run. So you really don't need to worry about me when you talk about him because I have no hard feelings. All right, thank you. But right now, we really don't have to talk about him and his current wife. What we need to talk about is his daughter and the fact that I think I'm wrapped into that situation for some reason. Wait, what? Well, look, I happened to get an odd text from this woman named Judith just a little bit ago. Judith, huh? That's the woman that used to be married to Brennan. I knew it had something to do with you guys. Well, right now, that Judith woman has me confused with whoever your brother is married to and thinks that I have to care for his daughter. She told me she left her child in front of my apartment door and that she'd be gone for 1 month with her boyfriend in Hawaii. And she told me that I'm the one that'll have to watch after her kid now. Are you kidding me? I have no idea why she ended up thinking my number happened to be Brennan's wife's number. I'm going to bring my brother over here now. All right. He's here. He's telling me that every 3 months he's been going out to see his daughter, but his ex-wife Judith comes along with them. And at one point she asked for him to remarry her, but Brennan was going out with you at the time and told her no. Ah, actually, during that time I had a little peek at his phone while he was talking with someone. That was probably him talking to Judith about it. He doesn't seem to really hide a lot of his personal issues from others, and perhaps that's why you were able to notice something on his phone like that. So this all has to do with him and his ex's daughter, then? Right now, Brennan is saying sorry for having this all affect you in some way. Tell him that it's all right. By the way, do you think it's a good idea for me to screenshot everything Judith and I talked about and send those to you? I think that she was really trying to talk with Brennan's wife about this, so she should be made aware, right? I'm sorry, but could you please do that for us? Right now, none of us even talk with her anymore because we all cut ties to her, so you're our only way of seeing what's going on here. I see. I'll send you the screenshots right away. Thank you, Lily. That'll help us a lot. Lily, thank you for those screenshots. Right now, both my brother and his wife are very thankful for these. I just wanted to let you know that. I'm glad to hear that they're thankful for them. And so, we all plan on handling this issue on our side here, but it seems that now Judith has gone and blocked Brennan's number. And since he can't talk with her now, there's no way for him to tell Judith that you're not his wife and have no connection to any of this. Ah, that's very true. Then the next time I hear something from Judith, I'll send you a text and let you know what's going on with her. How's that sound? Perfect. I'd really like you to do that for us. All right then, leave that up to me then. I'm so very sorry that we have to keep relying on you for something you have no part in. Right now, my brother is trying to think of ways to get you out of all this, so just give him a little longer, and I'm sure he'll think of something. But for the time being, you'll just have to hang tight. No worries, Angela. I really hope that this all can be resolved very soon. Lily, this would be Judith, and I just happened to get back into town. Thank you so much for taking great care of my daughter for me. I told you already I have never been married to anyone and have no recollection of anyone ever being my husband before. Yeah, whatever. And about all that, since you already have her in your care, I'd like to leave my daughter with you forever now. While I was in Hawaii with my boyfriend, he went ahead and proposed to me. And when it comes to my now fiancé, he is a man of great wealth and would have what many call a proper physique. And since he's so good, I don't really want my daughter getting in the way of us anymore. So you can go ahead and keep her for me. She's not my problem anymore. You already happen to have problems making babies, so think of this as a heartwarming present from me. So please, take her away from me and keep her as your own now. So what you're saying is that you're giving the rights to your daughter to Brennan? And since your daughter is already in the care of both him and his wife, you won't have any complaints about that, right? That's a good point. Well, I'd much rather he have full custody of her now, as that leaves no way of me being responsible for her. Go ahead and tell him that's totally fine with me. Sounds good. Then in the next few days, I'm going to assume you'll most likely get a call from his lawyer that he'll be working with, and I'd like you to answer to them. Will do. And one last time, I'd like to tell you this. I am not Brennan's wife and have never been. You're still going to go on about that? I happen to be Brennan's ex-girlfriend, and the two of us broke up over a year and a half ago. What? And then after breaking up with me, he happened to marry another woman. So as of right now, that's what I know about his situation. I just wanted to let you know that your daughter has been fed and housed by them for the last month and that they will be taking her in for good now. You really cannot give that crap up, can you? Always gotta try and make me believe something as ridiculous as that now. I've already said that you're keeping my daughter now, so you can shut up about all that. Bye now. Lily? I am not letting you guys have my daughter anymore. Give her back to me right now. I've already heard from those two that all the paperwork has been completed and that she's now their daughter. That guy that proposed to me before happens to be no good, and he told me things are off now because he found out I had a kid. And so he's gone and left me for dead now. What? You kept the fact that you have a daughter a secret from that man? Well, I had no other choice, all right? It's way too difficult for younger men to want to be with women like me who have a kid already with someone else, right? Well, I'm not really going to comment on that one, but come on, Judith. You can't just hide the fact that you have a child from your boyfriend like that, thinking he'd be okay marrying later when he finds out. I don't need that crap from you right now. I just want my baby back, so hurry up and hand her over to me. If you don't, I am no longer going to get any kind of money from Brennan as child support for her. I see. So that's why you ended up giving full custody of your guys' daughter back when you both divorced. It was all about that money from him. And it wasn't even like there was something wrong with Brennan anyway that made the court choose to give you full custody. I heard that you happened to have been cheating on him at the time, and when he asked for a divorce, you made up this whole story so that you could get your daughter from him. And it wasn't even about her. Who the hell cares about the past? Right now, all we need to be focused on is the fact that I don't want you guys to have her anymore. I'm her real mother, and I don't approve of this anymore, so give her back now. You're wasting your time telling me that. Me telling you all this will make things go a lot quicker for me since you're his wife. My God, I have told you this too many times now. I do not have a husband. No husband. The woman that's married to Brennan right now is a completely different person from me. And I told you, you can give all of that crap up now. Give me my dang kid back. You're not mentally stable, are you? I'm blocking you now. Wait! Why are you blocking me? Because Judith never seemed to get a grasp of the situation I had been explaining to her, the lawyer that Brennan had been working with talked to her for the rest of us and gave her the same explanation. And when she had finally learned that she'd been talking to the wrong woman this whole time, her face turned bright red. And right as the lawyer told her that, she picked up her smartphone and completely wiped all the conversation we had and my contact off of it. After that, she was not able to get any more money from Brennan for her daughter, and instead, she had to start paying him. And because of this, she ran to his apartment and started to bang on his door while screaming for him to let her have her daughter back. And right as she was about to kick the door in, the new renter of that apartment opened it and looked her square in the eyes. Apparently, Brennan and his wife moved back into his parents' house, now that they both have a kid to take care of. With Judith no longer having her rich boyfriend with her, and with her not receiving child support anymore, she had to start working a job. But she was fired from that job not even a week after getting it for some reason. And that left her with a life where every day she has to be worried about where her next meal will be coming from. Good morning, Miria? Work has already started, but you're going to be late again today? This is your 5th day in a row being late. Oh, sorry. You see, my boyfriend I'm currently living with wouldn't wake me up on time. To tell you the truth, we were too busy making love all night, so we couldn't go to sleep until it was already morning. Sorry, I guess the both of us just overslept again. That's not an excuse to be late. Hurry up and come to work, will you? Oh, come on, Pietra. No need to be so stiff. Just because you're 39 and still single and are doomed to a life of loneliness doesn't mean you can take that anger out on me, who's about to get married at the age of 20, I think. You know, you should really go and find a boyfriend of your own, because maybe then you wouldn't be so uptight about everything anymore. Like I said, none of what you're saying right now changes the fact that you're late. Come to work immediately. Aw, can you forgive me just this once? You see, our wedding is going to take place next week, so our love for each other is also at a peak right now. I promise that from next week, I'll come to work on time every day. So, in exchange, could you just let me be with my boyfriend a little bit longer? Please, Pietra, are you really going to make me just leave him like this? That's not an excuse to be late. Hurry up and come to work. Huh? What's your problem? And to think I was sharing some of my happiness with you. This is why you're 39 and still single. Guys are turned off by women like you who are too uptight, you know. Do you want me to say the same thing for the 4th time? Should I copy and paste it over and over until you finally understand what it means? Fine, I get it. Oh, and by the way, when addressing your colleagues at work, you need to be more polite and have manners, no matter the age of the person you're talking to. Please don't bring your private matters into work. I don't want to have to tell you this several times as well. I understand. I'll get prepared and leave the house right now if that's what you want. Thank you. We've got a department meeting today, so it would be best if you get here as soon as possible because it's about to start in 30 minutes. I don't think today is a holiday, right, Pietra? But it's already time for your lunch break, and I still haven't seen you. Could it be that you're late? This is why single old women are the worst. You always nagged me for being late to work, but now you're late yourself? Seriously, Pietra, this is just embarrassing. This is why they call you a hypocrite, you know. Hello, Miria. But I got to work on time this morning as usual, and I've been at my desk all morning. What are you talking about? Huh? But I haven't seen you at your desk all day. Our department mainly deals with internal affairs, so the excuse of, I have business outside won't work, you know. Oh, so you didn't get the notification regarding the staff relocation? Staff relocation? What are you talking about? You see, I've been moved to the marketing department, and I'm going to be working here starting from today. Huh? I already moved all the stuff that was around my old desk to my new desk. Didn't you notice? Seriously? You're right. Everything except the computer is gone. Yes. I was told that a new employee that's going to be joining us next week is going to be using that computer, which is why it was left there. So it's also true that you were relocated to the marketing department? But that department is popular amongst the women here since there are so many handsome men. I wanted to go there too. But didn't you say that you had a fiancé? Never mind. This staff relocation was announced to everyone in the company 2 months ago. You're only hearing about this now? What? Really? Where did they announce this information? Multiple places, really. They sent it to all of our work emails, and it was even announced in our group chat. I'm surprised you haven't heard it from one of your colleagues, since it's been a common topic of discussion around the office these past 2 months. Anyway, is that all you had to say to me? Oh yeah, my wedding is going to be this Sunday, but... Oh, is that so? Congratulations on your wedding. I didn't invite you to the wedding ceremony, but I thought that I would invite you to the reception after that. Thank you for the invitation, but I have a wedding on that day as well, so I can't go. I'm sorry. Is that so? And to think I was trying to be nice to you for a change. This is why single old women like you are the worst. Do you even know how to loosen up and smile for a change, or is that frown just a permanent part of your face now? Well then, I'm currently in the middle of eating lunch right now, so goodbye. What? Are you kidding me right now? Why are you at my wedding ceremony, Pietra? You know that you weren't invited, right? I remember specifically telling you that a few days ago. Yet you seriously came to my wedding? Oh, that reminds me. You said something about how you couldn't come since you had a wedding of your own, right? You seriously didn't go to that wedding and came to mine instead? Why? Let me guess, you're here to get acquainted with some of my husband's friends, since most of them are doctors, lawyers, pilots, or other such high-income professions. I didn't think much of it when you told me you wouldn't come, since I just assumed that you were invited to a friend or relative's wedding, but to think that you were actually planning on finding a man at my wedding? This is unbelievable. The fact that you lied to me about it is especially disgusting. I didn't invite you here, so I'm not going to let you inside the wedding venue no matter what, all right? This is why single old women are the worst. They act all arrogant and superior, but at the end of the day have no sense of shame and are willing to do anything to find a man that will accept them. Will you please just hurry up and go home? You're not wanted here. Huh? You're seriously still here, Pietra? And to think that I was relieved and thought that you did as I told you and went home when you didn't barge into the chapel, as I was kind of expecting you to. Hold on, why are you wearing a wedding dress? But even wearing just a white dress is considered rude at a wedding, and you come here in a wedding dress? Seriously? Just how much of an idiot are you, Pietra? Don't tell me, but are you here for my groom? You seriously couldn't be satisfied with one of his rich friends or something? Seriously, I knew you were an uptight old hag, but to think that you were also one of those women who can only be satisfied by stealing other women's men, you disgust me, Pietra. That's not something a single old woman about to turn 40 is supposed to. Usually only pretty young women like me do stuff like that. Well, I understand why you would want to steal him after all. He's rich and handsome, but this is just going too far. It looks like I need to do something about this before the reception starts. I'm not going to let you ruin my wedding, no matter what, Pietra. Yes, I successfully chased away the single old hag that was after my groom. With that out of the way, we can have our wedding reception without having to worry about you barging in anymore. Wow, it looks like bringing the sewing kit was a good idea, I guess. These scissors especially came in handy. Miria, just what are you trying to do? Oh, it looks like you finally replied to my text. Could you please explain to me why you suddenly ran at me with those scissors of yours and cut apart my wedding dress? To be honest, I thought that you were going to stab me or something. Huh? Why in the world would I stab you? Are you accusing me of being a psychopath or something? And stop acting like you don't know anything. You know exactly what you did, and I don't have to tell you again. This is why single old women like you are the worst. They always start acting like the victim when they're caught doing something wrong. I mean, what were you even thinking coming to my wedding wearing a white dress? You're the one who owes me an explanation. Besides, I didn't even invite you, yet you still came. At first, I thought that you came to find a man of your own amongst my boyfriend's rich friends, but that's when I noticed that you came wearing a wedding dress. That's when I remembered how you told me you had a wedding of your own, which is when I realized what you were trying to tell me. You were planning on barging in on my wedding and stealing my groom from the start, weren't you? The wedding you had to go to was mine from the start, wasn't it? Jesus, Pietra, you're scaring me with just how much of a psychopath you are. Basically none of what you just said right now is true, Miria. It's no use lying to me, Pietra. I see right through you and your lies. Now that I cut that wedding dress of yours apart, it looks like you won't be able to find a man for yourself at my wedding like you intended anymore. Hurry up and go home. What? I thought you said that I was after your groom or something. Never mind. It's no use trying to find logic in anything you say. Anyways, looks like I will have to go home now. Too bad you couldn't get out of the life of a single woman. I guess you'll just have to wait a bit longer for that, but since you're already 30, and not only that, but have a terrible personality as well, I think it's going to be difficult for you to ever find a man. Sorry, Pietra. I kind of feel bad for you. I guess you're just going to have to live the rest of your life alone. That must be really sad, right? But enough of that already. Because today I gracefully overcame the obstacle that was the single old woman that came to ruin my wedding, and am now going to find happiness with my husband. I had no idea that we were having our weddings at the same venue. What are you talking about? It's not that I was invited to someone else's wedding, but I came to this wedding venue to have my own wedding. Oh, and I feel stupid for even having to mention this, but I definitely did not come to your wedding to steal your groom or something. I was wearing a wedding dress because I was the bride, as it's custom for the bride to do, you know. Huh? But isn't it a thing where a crazy jealous woman suddenly shows up at your wedding wearing a wedding dress because she intends on stealing your husband? Doesn't that happen in real life as well? Pietra, what are you going to do about this? I can't get married anymore because of you. Good morning, Miria. I heard that your fiancé canceled the marriage. Yes, and it's all your fault. He told me that he didn't want to marry a crazy woman that cuts up other women's wedding dresses or something. I tried explaining to him that I only did it because I thought that you were there to steal him from me, but he said that that just made me sound even more crazy. But to think that I was about to marry a rich man, that's gone now, and it's all because of you. Seriously, what are you going to do about this? This is your fault, you know. How is this my fault? This is all you're doing, Miria, so please don't blame me for your misfortunes. It's your fault for wearing a wedding dress. If I had known that we were having our weddings on the same day and at the same venue, this never would have happened. First of all, it seems like you're forgetting the fact that you suddenly ran up to me with scissors in your hands and cut apart my wedding dress. I mean, you could have at least talked to me and asked me why, and second of all, it's not like I planned this, since I didn't know that you were going to have your wedding at the same wedding venue as mine. What did you just say to me? Are you trying to say that I'm not a normal person or something? Of course I didn't hesitate in ripping apart your wedding dress. I thought that you were there to steal my groom. You see, my wedding was a small-scale one, so I only invited friends and family. I didn't invite anyone from the company. I heard that you too only invited a few of your colleagues you were close with from work. Besides, did you forget that I made an announcement to the company that I was getting married on the same day you were going to have your wedding? What? You told the company that you were getting married? I did. What? This is probably the reason that we didn't notice that we were going to have our weddings at the same venue. I don't care about any of that anymore. All that matters now is that my wedding was canceled. My rich fiancé, he's gone now. Yes, but complaining about that to me isn't going to change anything. You rented a new wedding dress and went through with your wedding, right? That's so unfair. Why do you get married and I don't? Miria. What? You see, when you suddenly approached me with those scissors and cut apart my wedding dress with them, I was honestly very scared. Huh? Thankfully, I wasn't hurt, and since you were probably going to have to pay for a lot of different stuff, like an alimony from your ex-fiancé and cancellation fees for your wedding, not only that, but I heard that the wedding venue was going to make you pay for the wedding dress that you cut apart. That's why I thought I would just forget about it and not make a big deal, but... What are you on about? Not only do you show zero remorse towards your actions, but you act as if I'm the one who harmed you and not the other way around and are getting mad at me for it, I think. I don't like where this is going. I realize now that if I don't settle things with you, it's not going to benefit either of us, so I decided that I'm going to make you pay me an alimony. Seriously? Pietra, please, I'm begging you. I regret what I did to you, so now you can cancel that alimony you're making me pay you. Not only am I being asked to pay a total of 50,000 euros to my husband in the wedding venue, but even the company is suggesting that I voluntarily resign. Even if they let me stay, everyone at the company gives me these strange looks and suddenly started being cold to me. So I think I have no choice but to quit. And on top of that, my parents are saying that there's no way that they're going to help me. And that, on the other hand, they were actually going to cut ties with me, which means that I don't have anyone to rely on anymore. But you're still going to make me pay you an alimony? Even though I'm currently living in hell on earth? There's no way I'm going to be able to bounce back from this. Pietra, please. Don't you realize how much anguish you're causing me right now? I'm asking you as a colleague to help me right now, you know? I'm begging you from the bottom of my heart, and you still won't help me? Just who do you think you even are? This is why single old women are the worst. Oh, I guess you're married now, but... When I went to work the next day, Miria was nowhere to be seen. I asked our manager about it, and apparently she had already turned in her letter of resignation. I heard about what happened to her after that from her parents, who came to me to apologize for what their daughter had done. After submitting her letter of resignation, it seems that Miria planned on locking herself in her own room in her parents' house, even though her parents had already cut ties with her. But her parents already knew Miria and how she was an expert at running away from difficult situations with all her strength all too well. They kept watch over the house's entrance, and sure enough, Miria was attempting to sneak into her room. They captured her immediately, and apparently they sent her to live with a relative of hers that she hated so much that it was possible that for her seeing them was a trauma in and of itself. It seems that these relatives of hers paid for all the stuff Miria had to pay for. She was for some reason welcomed at this house, which is when the two sons of the family, I decided that listening to Miria's parents' story any longer than that would give me trauma myself, so I ended the conversation with them there. Hi, Linda. Is my 500 euros for this month not ready yet? You're on your way home from work right now, right? Don't forget to deposit the money into my account at the bank, all right? Huh? What are you talking about, Mom? But I already gave you the 500 euros yesterday. No, you didn't. I'm talking about the 500 euros you sent each month. Are you trying to play dumb and get away with not giving it to me? But I already gave it to you. I gave it to you in front of Elio, so there can't be a mistake. Ask him if you don't believe me. What? Elio? Yes, your son and my brother Elio. Apparently he was in the hallway when I gave you that money. You didn't notice that he was looking at us? That kid is pretty serious when it comes to money, so I think it would be best if you don't try anything strange. Oh, I remember now. You did give me 500 euros yesterday, huh? Sorry, I must be getting old. It's not like I wanted to get an extra 500 euros from you or anything, so don't tell Elio I asked you for money, all right? Yeah, I get it. I'm about to get off the train and walk home, so I'll end our conversation here. Hey, Linda, I just found your payslip. You only earned this much money all along? What? My payslip? I saw that you only earned 1,000 euros a month. I thought that you went to the office every day to work, but there's no way an employee at a company would only earn this much. You've just been pretending to have an actual job all this time, didn't you? When in reality, you probably only work part-time a few days a week. Huh? 1,000 euros? What in the world are you talking about? I'm the one asking you. I see now. That's why last month when I tried to get an extra 500 euros from you, you wouldn't give it to me no matter what. It's because you just didn't have any money, right? Because if you had given me 1,000 euros in total, that would have been all your money for that month. Mother, I don't quite understand what you're talking about right now. I haven't told you about my monthly wage in detail yet, but I can at least tell you that it isn't as low as 1,000 euros a month. Oh, and do you realize that you just admitted to trying to get an extra 500 euros from me? I wonder what Elio would say about this. No, don't tell Elio! What I meant was, when I accidentally tried to get an extra 500 euros from you, you see? And don't even try playing dumb with me. I have proof of it in my hands right now in the form of a payslip. The numbers don't lie, Linda. It says here that you only earned 1,030 euros in the month of October. Huh? I assure you I earned more than 1,030 euros last month. Besides, I haven't received a payslip on paper for several months now, so whatever you have in your hands right now can't be mine. Huh? What do you mean you haven't received a payslip for several years now? Don't tell me, but have you actually been unemployed all this time? What have you been doing outside every day for the past few years then? I don't mean that I'm unemployed. I just meant that I receive payslips online now. It's custom for people to receive digital payslips at a lot of places nowadays, you know? I can view it on my phone or my computer right now, and I assure you it won't say that I only earned 1,030 euros. But I have proof right here. Elio isn't the only one who's serious about money in this house. I am too. I'm not going to forgive how you've been leeching off of us for these past few years. But isn't that what you've been doing to me and Aunt ever since you and Dad got divorced? Besides, you can say whatever you want, but it won't change the fact that my monthly wage isn't 1,000 euros. Where did you even get this payslip or whatever of yours? I got it from the safe in the living room. But I've never used that safe before. The fact that you won't admit it even though I'm confronting you like this is basically proof that your monthly wage is 1,000 euros. Only a guilty person would lie like that. Huh? That doesn't make any sense. By your logic, literally everyone would be guilty. And what makes you so sure I'm even lying in the first place? Of course you're lying, because you're just like your dad, a lying snake. You seriously only earn 1,000 euros a month, Linda? That's basically the same as being unemployed. I mean, you can't even support yourself with that sort of money. I don't need a parasite like you anymore. All I need is Elio, who earns 10,000 euros a month. Huh? Elio earns 10,000 euros a month? Yes. Mother, but Elio is still in college. Yes, he must be using some sort of talent of his to do some sort of unique job that pays 10,000 euros a month. Or maybe he started his own business while still in college and started something profitable. I'm so proud of him. I think that's a bit too fantastical. Besides, I'm pretty sure I'd know if Elio earned 10,000 euros a month. No, it's not fantastical. You're just jealous your brother, who's still in college, earns 10 times as much money as you. Get out of the house, Linda. You're a burden to us. I should have taken only Elio and given you to your dad when we got divorced, but apparently I couldn't do that, so I was stuck with you all these years. But now you're a functioning adult, so it doesn't matter what I do to you anymore. What? You're going to make me leave the house? Yes, that's what I said, didn't I? I said get out of the house. I don't like how you're acting all arrogant when you only earn 1,000 euros a month. And now that I know Elio earns 10,000 euros a month, I don't need a parasite like you anymore. All I need is Elio now. Leave the house right now. To me it just sounds like you're asking for something that you don't really want, but are you really sure about this? I'm telling you to leave, so of course I'm sure. I'll tell you this in advance, but it won't work if you try and stall so that you can stay in our house. I have no intention of doing anything like that, but fine, if that's what you want, I'll leave. I have a place to go for now, so I can leave as soon as you want. Oh, and I don't want you to come crying to me later on, so I'm going to tell you this now. What? I'm the one who earns 10,000 euros a month, not Elio. Without me, you two wouldn't be able to support yourselves anymore. Huh? There's no way I'm going to believe something like that. You're such a shameless liar, Linda. Trying to act as if the money Elio earns is your own. I'm cutting ties with you. I don't need a liar in the family. I see. You're cutting ties with me, huh? Fine. I think that's a good idea as well. Wow. Why do I feel so free right now?
Sister, is it true that you left the house? When I came home from school, Mom told me that you had left and the two of us were going to live together without you from now on. Is that really true?
Oh, hi, Elio.
What do you mean, hi? How can you be so calm right now? Don't leave me here with Mom. There's no way we're going to be able to support ourselves here now that you're gone. I'm currently in the process of finding a job right now since I'm about to graduate from college. I don't have the strength to deal with this as well.
Oh, sorry. I should have explained the situation myself to you before she did. It's not that I'm abandoning you to live with Mom or on your own, but it's just that I got the feeling that if I didn't get out of the house as soon as possible, Mom would start throwing away my stuff from the next day. That's how strongly she wanted me to leave.
Huh? What's she getting mad about this time? Seriously, she acts like she's some sort of queen around here, when in reality, we wouldn't be able to get by without you and Aunt's help. All she does is lay around doing who knows what all day. Jesus, that mom of ours is really a hassle. She doesn't like you because you look and act like her dad she got divorced with a few years ago, right? That's why she's been trying to find a reason to kick you out of the house ever since. Looks like it finally happened.
Well, it's not like I haven't noticed it myself. Our mom is just too much for us to handle. Even Dad couldn't put up with her and eventually lost his patience, eventually leading to a divorce.
Well, yeah, I know that too, but what am I gonna do now that you're gone?
Don't worry, we'll think of something. But first, there's something I want to ask you.
What?
Did you do anything that might have made Mom think that you earned 10,000 euros a month?
Huh? Mom thinks I earn 10,000 euros a month?
Yeah, that's why she kicked me out, because she said she would rely on you instead from now on. Anyways, can you think of anything? Not just something that would make her think you earned 10,000 euros a month, but maybe something that would make her get our monthly wages mixed up as well, so...
Oh, I think I might have an idea as to what it might be. You see, I taped a paper on the wall of my room recently with the words 10,000 euros monthly written on it. I guess she misunderstood and thought I was posting my monthly salary on the wall. What kind of weirdo does that? I mean, any normal person would understand that it's supposed to signify a goal.
Well, you know how our mom always interprets things in ways that are beneficial to her. Besides, what you're doing is pretty weird as well, Elio. Why'd you do something like that again?
What about it is weird? I thought that I wanted to be like you and earn 10,000 euros a month myself in the future. I think Mom might have entered my room without my permission again, and that's probably when she saw it.
Okay, next question. Do you know anything about a payslip that outlines a salary of 1,000 euros a month?
A payslip?
Yeah. For some reason, Mom thinks that I only earn 1,000 euros a month. She made a commotion saying that she saw my payslip or something.
But that's probably my monthly wage I earn from working part-time jobs.
I thought so. Do you remember putting a payslip inside the safe in the living room?
Yeah, because I don't have a safe in my room. I wanted to put it somewhere Mom wouldn't find it, but I guess putting it in the safe was a bad idea, huh?
That must be it.
Huh?
Mom saw your payslip and thought it was mine, which is why she told me that you might as well be unemployed if you only earn 1,000 euros in a month.
Seriously? But doesn't she see you go to the office every day? What kind of office employee only earns 1,000 euros a month?
Yeah, that's what a sane person would think. Our mom, on the other hand, thought that I had only been fooling her by pretending to go to the office all the time, when, in reality, I was out enjoying myself or something. Also, she must have been so biased against me that she didn't notice that the name on the payslip wasn't mine. She probably just wanted a reason to insult me and automatically assumed that the payslip was mine.
Huh? Doesn't that mean that it's my fault that you had to leave the house? I'm sorry, I guess.
It's fine. It's not your fault. Besides, I'm kind of glad that Mom finally kicked me out of the house. I had always wanted to leave, but I couldn't just leave the two of you on your own, you know?
But what are we supposed to do now? Will you provide for us like before?
I know. Why don't you just leave the house as well?
What?
You see, I've been thinking recently that we need to stop being so patient with Mom. It's already been 7 years since she and Dad got divorced, but she still hasn't found a job. She hasn't even realized yet that I'm the one that's keeping this family afloat. She needs to go and get a job soon, since otherwise she's not going to have any money for her retirement.
It's just as you say. I'm sick of how she always relies on us like some sort of parasite.
Yep. You see, I moved temporarily to the apartment that I'm renting as a studio for my YouTube channel, but do you want to live here until you graduate from college or something? There's one room available.
Mom doesn't know about that apartment, right?
Yep. She doesn't even know that I run a cooking channel on YouTube.
That's right, I forgot. All right, I think I'll accept your offer.
It's going to be farther from your university than our current house is, but is that all right?
It's fine. It's only gonna take about an extra 15 minutes to get to school from there, right? I just need to get used to it.
I see. Well, if that's the case, first, why don't you bring your stuff here into my apartment little by little so that Mom won't notice anything? We'll wait for until Mom leaves the house for at least a few hours, and then we'll bring your large furniture like your bed and desk here. Tell me if you know of any dates when Mom isn't going to be home for a long time. I'll hire a moving company to help you on that day.
Sister, I heard that Mom is gonna be on a one-day trip with her friends next Saturday. She's not gonna be here from morning to night, so this is our chance.
Next week Saturday, huh? Got it. Linda! Elio's gone! Do you know anything about this? You know something about this, don't you? Tell me right now! Huh? Elio? I heard that he wanted to leave the house as well, but I didn't know about what he was planning in detail. Huh? He wanted to leave the house? Yep, He's been talking about how he wanted to leave the house while he was in college. You haven't heard anything about it from him?
I haven't. I used up a lot of money today on a one-day trip with my friends, so I only have 50 euros right now. I was planning on getting Elio to give me 1,000 euros later on, but I guess the timing was bad.
But if you asked him for 1,000 euros, then all his money he earned from working part-time jobs in a month would disappear, so don't do that to him, okay?
Huh?
Mom, I heard from Elio that he put a copy of his payslip in the safe in the living room. That's probably the payslip you saw and thought was mine. Why don't you just look at that payslip closely one more time and make sure to check the name?
Huh? I got the payslip, but... Huh? This is Elio's payslip?
Yes.
But it was written on his room that he earned 10,000 euros monthly.
You mean the paper he taped to his wall with the words 10,000 euros monthly written on it? It doesn't mean that he actually earns 10,000 euros a month. It just meant that that was his goal for the future.
Huh? Then what you said about you earning 10,000 euros a month?
That was true as well.
If that's the case, then come back right now.
Why?
Because not only do I not know where Elio is, but now I know that you earn 10,000 euros a month while he only earns 1,000 euros a month. It's only natural that I depend on your salary from now on. Now that I know you earn that much money, don't you think? Come back here by tomorrow, okay?
Sorry, that's impossible.
Why?
You see, the residence contract on that house was already terminated.
Huh? The residence contract was terminated?
Yeah, I told our aunt, who's the owner of that house, that I left.
Your aunt? You mean my sister, right?
Yep, apparently Elio contacted her as well. She said that now that I wasn't there, there was no need for her to keep paying for a 3 LDK apartment that costs 800 euros a month. My aunt says that she's going to take care of you for now and make sure that you'll be able to live on your own in the future.
Huh?
Mom, you don't know just how much money you use every month, don't you?
Huh? It's 500 euros, right? The 500 euros you gave me every month.
To be honest, that was just your allowance I was giving you. We relied on your sister to pay for that house's rent of 800 euros a month, but I was the one who paid for everything else. Our food expenses, our water and electricity bills, our taxes, etc. I've been supporting you financially on my own completely ever since you and Dad got divorced.
What?
You see, I realized that part of the reason you have zero understanding of such financial and societal matters is because you don't have a job. In fact, you've never had a job, right? Which is why even our aunt's saying that if me and Elio are going to be leaving the house, you need to become independent yourself as well.
My sister. Why does she always have to be such a thorn in my side?
By the way, she said this morning. She said that she was going to contact you once you got home from your one-day trip.
Huh? Linda, I'm going to go where you are now, so tell me your address. If you don't tell me quick, then my sister is going to come for me. You know that I don't like my sister, right? If you don't want to put your own mother through hell, then come and save me right now. Linda!
My aunt is single, but unlike my mother, her sister, 1 year younger than her, she is a completely independent adult. The two have completely opposite personalities. She came to our old house soon after that to pick up Mom and made her pack the bare necessities. They left that evening, and now my mom lives with her at her house. By the way, it takes 3 hours and a half to get from her house to me and Elio's house, so she won't be able to get here so easily, especially since she doesn't have a driver's license. My mom now lives under the watch of her sister and, forced to find a job by her, started out by handing with newspapers. My mom is a late sleeper and hates getting up early in the morning, so I know this must be really tough for her, but according to my aunt, this is just The first step in your mom overcoming her fears. Just as I expected, she sends me and Elio complaints every day through text, but me and Elio changed phone numbers and contact information on the recommendation of our aunt. Elio and I are now living a peaceful life without our mom. I didn't know things could be so simple.
Hey, Katya. Are you still enjoying that life of poverty of yours?
Good evening, Palma. First of all, I'm not in poverty and get by just fine. What makes you think that I'm in poverty? Anyways, what do you want?
Yeah. You're poor compared to my father, so there's no point in acting all tough.
Your father?
Yeah, my father. You haven't heard of him? I got divorced with my husband a few years back, and I'm now living with my parents in their house. You already know that, right? It's not the weird kind of father, all right? I don't need to do such perverted things because my family is already so rich.
Oh, yes, I've heard. I heard that you were so careless with money and so selfish that your husband lost patience with you and divorced you.
Huh? That's not how it went at all. It's just that my ex-husband couldn't keep up with my celebrity lifestyle, which means that we were meant for different worlds in the first place, and we only noticed that after we got married. I pitied him and how he had to live with me in my celebrity world when he couldn't keep up, so I let him go back to the world of the common people.
Huh? You let him go back to the world of the common people? I guess that's one way of putting things.
Huh? What are you trying to say? I know you're jealous of my celebrity lifestyle, but that's no excuse to get all salty on me, all right?
Whatever. Could you get to the point already? Why did you suddenly contact me? I don't have the time to talk nonsense with you all day, so please hurry up and tell me what you came to say.
What do you mean nonsense? But I'm your fellow mother at the kindergarten. That's a bit too mean, don't you think? Anyways, though, I agree. I should just hurry up and tell you the news because it's something that will make you fall to your knees. You won't be able to act all tough after you hear what I have to tell you.
Is that so? Hurry up and say it then.
You see, it's about your husband, Louis. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid he's mine now.
What?
You see, I've been thinking recently that my children need a father and that I need a husband myself. That's when I remembered that your husband, Louis, was such a high-spec and handsome man. Someone like that is wasted on a poor woman like you, so I decided to have him for myself. We've been going out for a few months now, and he finally said that he wanted to get married with me.
So, what you're trying to say is that my husband cheated on me with you?
I don't like how you put it that way. It makes it sound like I did something wrong. I want you to say that this is a successful celebrity marriage. Besides, it's not cheating because I'm a better fit for him than you ever were.
I don't know what your definition of cheating is, but I'm pretty sure that that's not how the law defines it. Anyways, I don't care about any of that. Just get to your point already.
Huh? But I already did get to my point. I just wanted to come and tell you that I stole your husband from you.
Are you sure that's it? You went out of your way to tell me about this yourself, which means that you probably intend on putting an end to this soon, right?
Putting an end to this? What do you mean by that? Oh, you're talking about the alimony, right? Jesus, this is the problem with poor people like you. Your husband just got stolen from you, and the first thing you think about is the money that you're going to receive from me as an alimony? This is why I hate the common people. It's like all their emotions have been replaced with a lust for money.
Calm down, princess. It seems that you don't quite understand the situation. Please don't forget that you're the one who's in the wrong here and not me. You really shouldn't be as proud about this as you are right now.
You're so mean, Katya. It's not my fault that I was a better match for your husband, Louis, than you were. I'll forgive you for being so mean to me, though, because I'm going to consider what you just said to me as the final cries of the poor woman who just lost her husband.
Could you seriously just stop with all your nonsense? I want to get this over as fast as possible, as reading your text is honestly a pain in the rear end. What are we going to do about the alimony?
That's not a problem. My dad is going to pay for it anyway, so just hurry up and get divorced with Louis, all right?
You're going to count on your father, huh?
Yeah, so what if I count on my father to pay the alimony? What difference does it make to you? Anyways, should I give you 10,000 euros for the alimony or something? That's above the average amount for things like this, right? 10,000 euros is nothing for my father, you see. Aren't you like 40 years old? And you're seriously saying stuff that a rich teenage girl would say? Yeah, say whatever you want. You're just jealous your family is too poor for you to rely on your parents yourself. I mean, my father works as the department head for one of the 2 largest companies in this area. His salary increased almost 3-fold ever since he became a department head, which means that even if I'm now divorced and I'm a single mother, I don't have to worry about money even a single bit. I'm basically a celebrity, you know. You're getting off topic again, Pelma. What makes you think I wanted to hear any part of what you just told me? Huh? I already got that you're very proud of being a celebrity, but I'm going to have to talk with Lewis himself first and check whether what you just told me now is true. If necessary, I'm going to be hiring a lawyer after that and ask him or her to handle this for me. Please be a bit more patient, because I won't be able to get divorced with Lewis just yet. Is that so? But are you sure it's all right if you hire a lawyer? I mean, wouldn't that be a bit too expensive for someone as poor as you? You're still saying that? Like I said, I'm not poor. I don't know why you ever started thinking that in the first place. I mean, once you get divorced with Lewis, you won't be able to maintain your current lifestyle anymore, right? Which is why I'm just so worried about you. Is that why you've been calling me poor all this time? Because you knew that me and my husband would get divorced soon? Yep, I've been calling you poor ever since me and Lewis started going out, you see. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but it will happen, so it's the truth, right? It was so hilarious seeing you confused as to why I was calling you poor. I think it would be best if you started worrying about yourself and what's about to happen to you before worrying about other people's futures. Just remember, though, that whatever happens to you from now on is your own doing. Huh? What even is that? I'm not going to reply to a single one of your texts until I'm finished preparing. Goodbye. Come on, Katya, what is the meaning of this? Your husband Lewis just came to my house. He says that you kicked him out of your house or something? I mean, I get how you don't want to share a roof with a husband who doesn't love you, but Lewis is the owner of that house, isn't he? You can't just kick him out like this. You're the one who should leave with your kids. Oh, I get it. Your parents are already dead, right? Which means that you can't rely on them and have nowhere else to go. Not only that, but you're so poor that you can't even stay in a hotel or something. Fine, if that's the case, then I'll forgive you for kicking Lewis out of his own home like this. But once you two get divorced and we pay you an alimony, you'll have the money to move out. I won't let you stay in the house after that, all right? By the way, Katya, were you able to hire that lawyer you said you were going to be hiring? My father is getting so impatient and keeps asking me how much the alimony is going to be. I need you to hurry up so he can pay it for me as soon as possible because my father is a busy man, you know? We're just waiting for you now. We'll be able to give you the money on the exact same day you ask it from us. Hey, when's this lawyer of yours going to come? Not only that, but why do you keep ignoring my texts? Why don't you reply at least once? I mean, it's so disrespectful how you keep ignoring my texts, even though you're just a poor woman. Hold on, what is the meaning of this? I happened to go by my dad's office today and saw you entering the building. What does someone like you have to do at a place like that? Oh, don't tell me, but are you currently in the process of trying to find a job after you get divorced? If that's the case, I'll ask to make sure that you don't get hired by his company. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, but that lawyer of yours came today. We're going to give you that alimony you're asking from us by the end of the day, so look forward to it, all right? Katya, what in the world is the meaning of this? Yesterday, when your lawyer came and told me the amount of money we had to pay you, I tried to go and tell Dad about it since he was supposed to pay it off immediately. But when he heard your name, his face went pale and he gave a wail, locking himself in his room. After that, all he said was, "We're screwed." Just what in the world did you do to my father? Katya, what do you mean your husband Lewis is just a regular employee? But I thought he was the department head of some other company or something. I also heard from him that the house I thought belonged to him actually belonged to you. I tried to make Louis pay the alimony for me since it looked like my dad wasn't going to be of any use, but even he said that it was impossible. Not only that, but for some reason my mom left my dad divorce papers she had already signed and left. Seriously, what in the world is going on here? This can't be happening. My dad's guilty of embezzlement? Is that why he started panicking and saying that we're screwed? Good morning, Palma. I was just about to contact you about that myself. Katya! Finally, you replied to my text. Hey, tell me what's going on here. What do you mean my father is guilty of embezzlement? Well, it basically means that he's been stealing money that wasn't his. Because of that, your father was fired from the company. Huh? What do you mean my father was fired? It means exactly what you think it means. The reason I was about to contact you was to explain this to you myself. What? First of all, I'll tell you who I really am to make what I'm about to tell you now as easy to understand as possible. You see, I'm an executive manager at S Corporations. What? This is going to answer the question you had yesterday as well, but you probably mistook Louis for being a department head of some company when, in reality, it was me who had that sort of position. Isn't S Corporations... Yes, it's the company your father used to work at before he got fired. I was an executive manager there, which means that I was one rank higher than your father at the company. Meaning that I was your father's boss, basically. You were my father's boss? Yes, let me continue. You see, your father was the accounting manager at our company. One day, one of our employees noticed that ever since your father got that position, the finances of the company have been a little strange. I decided to investigate this secretly when you suddenly revealed to me that my husband Louis was cheating on me with you. That's when you gave me a hint as to who the person responsible for the company's finances being off was. You told me that your father was going to pay however much money I wanted, right? Could it be the case that... Yes. You see, your father, our former accounting manager, was always pretty free with his money. But ever since he was promoted to this new position, he's been spending a bit more money than one would think a person of his salary would actually be able to spend. You see, there were already plans for tens of thousands of euros from the company's finances to be used soon. We were keeping a watch on him because of that, as there was a possibility that he would attempt embezzlement again, you see. What? You were investigating my father? Repeating what I say word for word is a sign that you don't actually understand what's happening, you know? Make sure you read these texts I just sent you one more time carefully after our conversation. Anyways, the team that was tasked to investigate your father was able to successfully catch him trying to embezzle some more money, and he was soon fired after that. What? So the reason that as soon as father got a promotion at his company, we were suddenly able to live a celebrity lifestyle was because... It probably had something to do with the money he stole from the company. But if that's the case, then what am I supposed to do now? Your husband Louis is just a regular employee and has no money, so I can't count on him. And the money that my father was supposed to give me to pay off your alimony was actually money that he stole. Who's going to pay for this alimony now? Palma, have you ever considered working and paying it off yourself? Huh? I'm supposed to get a job now? Do you see any other options? But I've never worked a day in my life. Well, it looks like you'll just have to start. Yeah, but... You can't rely on anyone to pay the alimony for you, right? Which means that you'll just have to pay for it on your own. I think I'll give Louis back to you. Sorry, I don't want him anymore. Besides, even if you break up with Louis or something, it won't change the fact that you'll have to pay me an alimony. Seriously? But I don't want him anymore. If you have any questions regarding the law, then please ask my lawyer about it. Well then, I'm going to be blocking this account, so please contact me through my lawyer from now on. Katya, wait! Well, that was what happened. Palma's father was found guilty of embezzlement, and in exchange for settling things privately, he was asked to return all the money he stole from the company, which amounted to several tens of thousands of euros. It seems that his daughter Palma helped him out with returning this money. Unrelated to that, though, I was able to receive an alimony from both Palma and Louis. I thought that Louis would be taking custody of our children, but Apparently, he just one day disappeared entirely, telling one of our neighbors that he was leaving to find a new job. For some reason, it looks like Lewis is currently with Palma's father somewhere, and one day, after I had almost forgotten about what happened, our office at S Corporations was suddenly just mailed his letter of resignation. According to the rumor, he had to take on a loan from the same people Palma got a loan from as well. I don't know whether that has something to do with this, but no one knows where the three of them are right now, and neither is anyone able to contact them.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.